Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Recipe for Adventure. I'm your host, Freebiewits, and with me is my good friend, Sai. Sai, say hello.
Howdy.
Again, you have betrayed me. When will I learn?
I am preparing.
That sounds ominous.
Oh, I mean, yes, but I'm prepping for the one day that I do say hello.
It's gonna be one of our birthdays or Christmas. Either way, I want to ask you a question, and I've already got the answer in my head, and it may not be the one you expect when I answer it. But my question for you is, what is your favorite magic item in D&D? Edition does not matter.
Oh, addition doesn't matter.
Nope.
Oh, that's gonna make things fun because I have to now think about technically as a dungeon master myself, I have homebrewed a couple of items.
Oh yeah, let's include those. I wasn't even thinking about homebrew when I said that. Yeah, okay, throw them at me.
Yeah, because technically, one of my favorite magical items is one I have used in two separate campaigns, and it's a magical item that I basically quote unquote created myself. But
Ah,
it's very simple in
original
like
content, please don't steal.
yeah feel free to steal it. It's a really cool idea. But I've used it in two different campaigns for two kind of different things. But and it's like, is it even technically a magical item? Yes, but it like how it comes about is a bit of a weird thing. But the reason I like it um, is it's a magical item referred to as the Troll King's Heart.
Oh, I like the
And
name already. It's a good name. Yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah. So the origins of it can be considered pretty simple. Like most people believe it belonged to the heart, or it was like originally the heart of an actual troll. But what it is a very large, roughly vaguely heart shaped object that constantly produces blood. And so
Okay.
it's like that seems pretty simple, right? It's like okay,
Pretty sure that there's an item in the BM, like the 5e one, that just like the jar of alchemy, I think it's called, or something like that. That like,
yeah. There's an alchemic jar which just
and
it does.
I'm pretty sure there's a mechanic that allows it to produce blood as well. Like, doesn't allow you
Uh,
to copy like something, or am I thinking of something else?
I don't think it allows you to produce blood. It has like very specific liquids.
Okay, okay.
But
Mayonnaise is
where
being one of them. I
yeah
remember.
yeah mayonnaise, oil, beer. Um, what I liked about the Troll King's Heart was how I used it.
Okay.
Um, so the first campaign I had it in, the the Troll King's Heart was in the clutches of a vampire,
Oh, okay. Yep, that makes sense.
and basically he had himself an unlimited fuel source effectively because he had a constant supply of blood.
Makes sense.
But the Troll King's Heart produced so much blood that he started, delving into blood magics. Because once
Makes
again, he has an unlimited supply of blood.
sense.
And so he starts using it not only as a food source, but also like a fuel source, and basically made a blood fueled flying castle. Because
Okay.
this heart just produced enough of effectively like blood based magical energy that he eventually worked out how to,
Harness
create
it and
harness it to that level.
okay, makes
Um,
sense.
and it's like, okay, that's pretty simple. It's pretty cool. And it's like it produces blood endlessly. That's kind of creepy. And then the second time I used it, I delved a bit further into the whole, it's a heart that constantly beats blood. And I actually linked it a bit more to the concept of the trolls, which can theoretically regenerate from nothing. And so the Troll King's Heart, at least in my second iteration of it, is literally the heart of the Troll King that is in a state of non regeneration, but just producing blood.
I think I see where this is going.
And the blood has like healing properties, but while the magics on the heart is stable, the Troll King can never regenerate beyond just the heart that produces the healing blood.
Hmm.
And basically, in my second use of the magical item, it was basically implanted into a monster to effectively give it regeneration, like a troll has.
Oh,
Basically, allowing, it's like, cool, put it inside the monster, and now this monster has effectively um, horror movie boss vibes, where it's like, you killed it, cool.
it
You
gets back up.
decapitated it, awesome. It got back up.
Yep, yep. I do.
Um,
I can see why that's a favorite of yours as a DM.
yeah, because I could have some fun uses with it, and I even had like a final boss fight at the end. It's like they killed the monster that was using the heart, which was effectively like a giant dragon. They went inside the dragon and killed the heart of the dragon. So I did a dungeon in a dragon,
Oh, I like that. Would it be
but
like a ancient dragon?
well, it started off small, but it kept like mutating and growing larger and larger. And
Ah,
they actually used like enlarge magic on it to get it large enough that they could go inside.
oh, that's cool. That is cool. I like
So
that.
they destroyed the heart of the dragon, which the Troll King heart was placed inside of, breaking the spell upon the Troll King's heart, reforming the Troll King itself, which formed the surprise final battle.
Yep, I can imagine.
But like it was just one of those things where it's something simple, but the idea of like an endless supply of effectively like troll blood became kind of like a fun little thing. Though a second like secondary like good mentions, what's the term, like honorable mention,
Okay, yep, yep.
is the endless bowl of potato soup.
I think you mentioned that one, yeah.
Yeah, I've mentioned this one to you plenty of times, where a DM of mine basically came up with it, where it's a bowl of potato soup. The potato soup can be flavored however you want, and it's just endless potato soup. If you tilt it, it will pour soup out. If you scoop it out, you can eat the soup and it'll constantly refill. And whenever you need it to stop spilling, basically you can cause the potato soup to just freeze over,
I, I,
and then
f-
you can just reheat it when you want to eat.
I feel like as far as homebrew items go, like that's a very common idea. You create a container that creates unlimited food because
Hmm.
it's just flavorful, completely intended, and it of course eliminates the need for the players to do all that looking for food stuff, which some people feels gets in the way of the adventure. And I do
Yeah.
like that idea from that specific standpoint.
Yeah. It's basically it solves the food problem, but it has enough like nuance that people could get kind of creative with it, right?
Absolutely. You've got like outside the food aspect, you've got an item that could create unlimited liquid essentially at that point.
Yeah. It's potato soup, so it's a bit sticky and like
Oh,
thick. Well, I guess you could thin it down, but
depends on the
like
potato soup.
potato soup, yeah. And so it's like you get creative, you have fun, that kind of stuff. And so that's one of my favorite like kind of like jokey items to give out. That's just like useful. But throw it back at you. You've tossed this question at me. What's yours?
Okay, so my favorite magical item of all time, and I've used this quite a few times as a player, and I think you can guess what it is. I think I've got enough clues as a player that you've seen me use it before.
Well, I mean, naturally, I start to think of the bag of holding.
It's a bag of mother frickin' holding, yes. Like, it's such a I was talking about the whole thing of like food being utility. Players don't have to think about it anymore. The bag of holding allows you, the player, and the DM to not think about like encumbrance anymore. You like from a what's the word, a story point of view. If you ever see the bag of holding on the screen, you just stop caring. Where's that character holding something? Oh, it's the bag of holding. Like mechanically speaking, we all know the bag of holding has like limits to it, but nobody really thinks about that until the player says something like, "Oh, I'm going to fill the bag of holding completely up with water" or something like that. Um, Narratively, that's the word. Narratively speaking, it is one of the most powerful single items because unless you think about it specifically, the bag of holding essentially becomes unlimited in terms of like what it can hold. And
Yeah.
it's just very convenient. And I just love the hell out of them for that reason.
Hmm. No, no, that makes complete sense. It's good for the DMs to have. It's good for the players to have. Um,
Like, unless they're actively looking to abuse it, it's one of those things that it's like it's symbiotic. It's like you said, good for the players, good for the DM. Neither one of them has to think of carry space anymore. DM can says,
mhm.
"Oh, there's this plot like important item," and the players don't have to say, "Oh, we've got to get rid of stuff to be able to carry it" or something like that. Um, Not that I think many players and groups do that in the first place. I think all players essentially have bags of holdings, even if they don't actually have them, because nobody can us to keep track of carry weight
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Like realistically, I would never bother about that type of stuff unless I was going for a survival type campaign.
Yeah, yeah, like it's that whole thing with food once again. Nobody really, everybody starts with like 10 silvers worth of like rations or whatever like that, and then they just don't think of it again until later. It's
Yeah.
if unless you're trying to point towards it specifically, nobody pays attention to that stuff. And
Yeah.
well, if you're creative enough, I feel like bags of holding can just be very useful mechanically.
Yeah. Same thing for like regular arrows. I'm not going to make you count your use of like regular arrows or regular bolts. But magical ones, that
Oh,
I'll care about.
oh, absolutely, 100%, 100%.
But for regular arrows, you effectively have infinite.
Hmm. You mentioned something about honorable mentions. Giant robot crab, if that counts as.
The artifact of Kalwesh or whatever it is.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
giant robot that you can control. And one day I just want to have a party of gnomes and give them that at the start.
Yep.
Just let them go mecha style on things. All right, so that's items. Let's go back to Slate Town quests. So Owl says Al will say that he needs to extract the luck from the five leaf clovers and it will take time to do so. Once he gets this part done, it will reveal what kind of ingredient he will next. That said, he believes it will have something to do with fire. So that can give players sort of an idea of
Uh,
like what
yeah.
they can expect next, but also give an excuse on like they can do
Hmm.
side quests now in the meantime.
They have free time, and I think this is the best time to kind of help flesh out the town with little small quests.
Absolutely. So we've got the starting town.
I think the best plan and nice and simple is basically be like, okay, we have a bunch of our major locations on the map. We should try to have something small that points you in that direction so you at least know it's there in terms of being a player.
Okay. What about a festival of some sort?
A festival could be fun.
Like it's festivities, it's like a low level party thing. It's a big citywide party essentially. Maybe a harvest sort of party or something like that. Festival of harvests. Fishing, maybe all the fishing boats have come back.
Uh, Something like that could be cool. But it's like, okay, yeah, there's a festival, but what is the party's role in the festival?
Mm, I'd like to think that at the beginning, at least, there isn't one. It's more Al going, oh, by the way, the festival of the the fishes is happening right now. You just brought in like the biggest haul since like in the last month or so. You guys should go enjoy it. And wait, maybe it's a yearly thing. Like the king tide has come in, so like there's a giant haul of fish and stuff like that. Um, you guys should go enjoy it. So it's just that sort of thing, and then they can find quests after that. Doesn't feel like, oh no, it's
So,
a big trouble. You have to go do this job.
something to pull them over towards the port district.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. So, um, the port district contains tourists. Yeah, the blown surface. So yeah, we can say with the king tide, maybe we call it the king tide festival or something like. What do you
The
think of that
King
name?
Tide Festival is a really cool name. I like that. That's immediately like pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. So it celebrates the fishes. What do you call it? Fishing bounty? The
Yeah.
bounty of the seas being caught and brought back by all fishers. And
I
I'll
mean, like it could be a thing. Like it's the King Tide Festival. Like maybe there's a lot of fish, but maybe Baron von Cleef has brought home like a sea leviathan as well.
okay. Baron von. How do I spell his name? Because I know we wrote it down. Cleef with a K. Okay, I was just double
Yeah.
checking. Cleef also brings back a giant sea leviathan. Do we want to say the giant sea leviathan is actually dead, like he's just got the head of it or something? Or do we want to say he brought it back alive?
Definitely dead. Um, because like I like the idea that the fish and like the leviathan are like going to be served up as part of the festival,
Okay,
like
okay.
like a giant seafood festival, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I also want to point out like a little thing. Um, for the locals, it's also a chance to be reunited some of their family that have been out at sea for months on end. Months, if not years on end.
I'd probably say weeks or months.
Weeks or
Uh,
months.
yeah, a
Okay,
lot of fishing expeditions don't quite disappear for years.
okay.
Yeah,
Months.
if they disappear for years, they've ended up in another country and they're
Uh,
having trouble getting back.
Okay,
And as someone whose father got involved in that situation once, it did not take him a year to get back.
okay. I've been thinking too much about that Tom Hanks movie. Except he's not really a fisher in that.
Castaway,
Yeah, and I suppose it was a very specific situation, not the norm
yeah,
for sure. Um,
yeah. Weeks or months makes a bit more sense.
the King Tide Festival. I also want to put in there that it's uh this festival isn't held any specific days and is allegorious. I know I spelled that wrong. Allegorious? Okay, there's no. What's the word? It's another word of saying is similar to.
I
Similar.
mean, just write down similar to.
Yeah, right. Similar to harvest festivals.
Yeah.
Wait. Successful harvest festivals. And then
Hmm.
I'm gonna put into like history check BC 12. There have been times when this festival hasn't celebrated due to or okay, obviously it's not a harvest. What's the catch or
Yeah,
catches?
but yeah, I like the idea. Yeah, as you said, it's basically a festival when there's just a lot of fish caught in a rapid period of time, and it's like in one way it's like yes, we have plenty of fish, and so the festival's like yay, we got plenty of fish, and also oh no, we have plenty of fish, we should probably start eating some of it.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, it's a good thing for tourists as well. I'd like to think
Yeah,
that they come rough every year, roughly like tourists. Many tourists come around this time of year.
hoping to be around when one happens.
Around happens.
Yeah, it's like it's not guaranteed, but you can if you come for like a week, you might be lucky enough to be around when one procs.
I just had a thought. As a side effect of this popularity, the
Hmm.
tourists accidentally, some cases, also create a huge bounty of tourist money for the locals. So the idea in my head is that in the future, if there's no fish whatsoever, like, or if the festival isn't celebrated anymore, it still gets celebrated because even though like the locals don't get any fish to survive, they get
Yeah.
tons of money anyways to survive and like import their like food from other places.
Well, I'm immediately thinking of the Bloodstone Bazaar with the one constant stall by Donzale
Oh
who
yeah,
uses
the
the seafood.
yeah.
Like when fish isn't in huge supply, I imagine Donzale's stall starts a lot of fish soups and stuff to stretch out the actual fish products,
Not
and
sure.
that might be why Donzale's stall is the one permanent one.
Like, does it even like the soup becomes thicker at least for him? Like, I think like
Yeah,
he still sticks with oysters, clams, and shellfish because that's what he
yeah.
knows. But then like instead of using like one lobster for the pot,
Mm.
he might like start cramming it with different shellfish at the same time, so it gets
I mean, yeah, during a King Tide festival where there's a lot, yeah, a lot of various fishes go into the soups and stews and such. When there's not, Donzale's still mass produces, but it's more of a way to kind of stretch out their fish supply,
I
so
got
the
it.
festival still feels exciting.
Mm. Donzale will be at the festival, obviously, because it's usually held. I mean, it's held throughout the
I,
city, but like the
I, I
nexus.
mean, I
Yeah.
mean, considering that it is a fish-based haul, it being in the Port District and being near the Bloodstone Bazaar just makes sense to me.
Oh, okay.
Because all the merchants are going to want to get in on the festivities, right?
Oh, hell yeah. Like some of those fishing boats are probably sponsored by them or owned
Yeah,
by them and such like that.
and if there's pop-up stalls, then there's probably a bunch of pop-up stalls with streamers of fish and stuff.
Fish paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come get this shirt. It says I've been to. Okay, maybe not a shirt like that, but like,
Or how about a simple kite in a sea serpent?
oh yeah, sea serpent kites. Okay, as many merchandise celebrate event, and then this could be like random stuff that the players can find. So, sea serpent kite. Serpent kite will be the most popular. Shell necklaces, suspiciously branded as king tide necklaces, and are identical to the usual shell necklaces, but much more expensive.
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna make that a DC insight check.
Mm-hmm.
Insight, let's say 10.
I'd make it a little bit more than 10, like 12.
Oh, suspiciously rebranded as the King Tie necklace, identical to the usual shell necklaces,
Yeah.
but much more expensive. What are the merchandise like?
Um, like I imagine since it's big on fish, I imagine some sort of like fish-based stuff. We got to see something cut. Like I imagine like not so much a kite, but like a little stick with like a little fish on it.
Stick? Like you mean quarterstaff stick or like a literal stick?
Like imagine a kid holding a little like a popsicle stick with like a little cardboard fish on it that they can wave around.
Oh, like a little sign.
Yeah.
Okay. Sticks with they don't even have to be carved. They can be I know. Preserved with large preserved fish on them.
Wait,
Covered.
actual fish? I was just gonna go with like little cutouts and stuff.
Well, if they have such a like surplus of fish, like they can't eat them all, so like
Well,
maybe they
that's what trade's for, Oscar.
okay.
That's
Large
what trade's
preserved
for.
fish bones then.
Yeah. Okay, fish bones could be cool. Yeah.
Some covered in colored. Okay, yeah. Preserved fish bones that have tinted in in garish colors.
Yeah. That works a bit better.
What other kind of things?
Um, I imagine just like a lot of like blue cloth and streamers and stuff for
Ooh,
like the waves.
stream Oh, actually, that's another thing. Toy boats.
Oh, of course.
Boats have to have the toy boats.
Yeah.
Miniatures of Baron von Leaf, of course.
hmm
Little action figures. So
I,
yeah,
I
that
I imagine not just Baron Cleef, but also like the fishermen and sailors as well.
fishermen. In that case, sailors, and of course, sea monsters.
I think that's a good like that's like six different things. That's pretty good.
Mm.
That's a good diverse. We
So
can like if you want to come up with something else
I
as
think
well, that's
that's
fine.
that
But
covers like the non-edible merchandise. For food, I think we can just make that up on the spot. But like, we'll give this is supposed to be a module, so I suppose
yeah,
we should give the player. So
well, it's there's going to be a lot of fish.
stalls, grilled fish, freshly grilled fish, very common, and then thingy, Danzale, Danzale, also up a giant stew. Oh, a giant creamy stew, the newest fish catch in a giant uh, clam shell hanging over fire. How's that sound?
That sounds cool.
Uh,
I imagine Danzale's like constantly at work during the festival.
oh yeah, he's having a bowl of a time. Fish jerky is a thing
hmm
of various flavor. various kinds of seasoning can be used as ration to longevity. What else do we want to stick in? Like,
Like I mean, we can start going into like various like fish-based recipes, right?
mm-mm.
Um,
This is
I mean,
mostly
like
a market stall. Keep in mind,
yeah.
though.
How about like I guess like maybe like fish cakes of some kind,
Oh, why didn't I think of that? Fish cakes.
because that's like a good finger food, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Variety, flavors, and even shapes. Yeah, I like that one.
Because with a festival, you want kind of easier to just like hold food, whether it's like in a bowl, like prepared or like stuff. Because like I imagine plates will be harder to kind of keep a hold of. But yeah, fish cakes I think is a really good, like a really good stuff. Like maybe some of like the vegetables and stuff gets brought out as well, but a lot of it is going to be like the fish
They're
cakes and stuff.
celebrating the seafood.
Yeah, it's all like complimentary stuff.
Some
Uh,
weirdo is selling raw
Fish
fish.
and chips pie? What?
I like that better. Fish and chips pie.
Yeah, no, I was like, I looked up some recipes for fish, and then I just see fish and chips pie, and immediately I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. Also, that sounds amazing, but I still don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, if you really think about it, shepherd's pie is literally beef and potatoes.
I mean, yes, but I've also never really thought about fish in pies in particular.
Oh no, fish pie is a thing. If I remember
Yeah,
correctly, it's mostly a thing in England. Um, it's usually the creamier kind of fish, like recipe
yeah,
when you put it in pie. I find like
yeah.
they
Some
usually
sort
do it
of
in a white sauce, if I remember correctly.
yeah, white fish fillets, fresh dill. Yeah, milk and flour gets used.
There you go. Yeah, so it's one of those creamy pies. I do like those too.
Yeah, no, looking at this, it looks pretty simple. And yeah, you basically layer the top with the chips. So,
What other things should we put in? Um,
well, I mean, like we don't have to come up with too many things. I think like five kind of dishes is already kind of good.
I do want one more just to match the non-edible merchandise.
Well, oh, how about like a fish burger or something?
Wait, hang on. What about the sea serpent itself?
The sea serpent. Um, I imagine it's got like some sort of special like sea serpent skewers.
Was like how
Kind
big is
kind
it?
of
How big is a sea serpent again in terms of like?
yes. The correct answer is yes. But
Okay.
I just like the idea of them like cutting cubes off the serpent, grilling them up, and kind of like the shish kebab skewers, but like sea serpent skewers, kind of some nice alliteration.
Hey, sea serpent skew. Yeah, that is a good alliteration. All right. So, what kind of like? So, I also want to give the players something to do. So, maybe some sort of like festival games or like challenges. So it's not
Hmm.
necessarily a quest. This could be. This is essentially. I know it's like we're starting at level two essentially, so this is very very early on. In fact, we
Yeah.
could allude to this that the King Tide Festival hasn't come yet when they first like start the campaign, and we can explain what
Hmm.
it is. And then when they come back, it's like, oh, King Tide Festival. It was very lucky that it came when it did. Hey.
Yeah. But yeah, stuff for the party to do. I mean, like a lot of it could be fun, just like going around, hanging out, seeing the sights. Um,
Oh.
may, I mean, maybe some sort of swimming competition.
Ooh. All right. All right. Okay. Activity. in competition. And like the prize, do we want to like just put in a prize by any chance? Like it could be a festival prize, so it doesn't have to be anything too valuable. It'd be like back in those days, like I can imagine it's like, oh, you get to kiss someone or something like that. Like that sort of minor. Or
You get
oh wait, I know it. I know what the best one is. Prize being first cut of the sea serpent.
yeah, they get like the prime steak of it. Ooh, yeah, that's good. I could also imagine a little competition of like uh catching fish with your bare hands in like a pool.
Or bare-handed fish catching.
Yeah, and that's definitely I would be like that's a sleight of hand check right there.
Oh yeah, unless you decide to cheat and use magic or something, or
Hmm.
intimidation on the fish,
You will stay still. I will catch you. Capiche?
or jump into the bucket. Now, animal handling.
Yeah.
So it could be
I
like any skill check, really,
you could.
as long
I
as you
mean,
flavor it just right. But we'll use.
they get creative.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll give the list of sleight of hand, animal handling, and any other skill that the player justify. And the prize would be, what would the prize be?
I mean, the fish you catch, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, why not? Fish you catch. Do we want to put a cost on this one then?
I mean, it should be like a couple of copper, right?
Okay, yeah, we'll say costs 3 copper, and that's a big bargain.
If you succeed.
Oh, if you succeed.
Yeah. It's a catch. It's fish catching, right? If you don't catch the fish within a certain amount of time, got to
Oh,
try again.
why don't we say like 3 copper for each try, so that way the merchants can
Yeah.
still make money
Yeah.
per try. Uh, and we'll say oh, 30 seconds, so that's 5 tries.
Okay.
So that was like mechanically speaking. Catch is what you keep. Try. All right. Mechanically speaking, do we want to do anything with the sea serpent stake?
Mechanically,
Oh, actually, I have an idea of the sea serpent can be hooked and each give, say, 12
yeah.
temporary HP, or prime catch. Sorry, cut. Okay, this is just one I've just thought of. Cut of the, and I just realized it's like, why didn't I think of this sooner? Can be given to Al to create a potion of water breathing.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe not water breathing, maybe water. I'm trying to think. If we add in a potion of water
It
breathing,
shouldn't just be one. It should be several at the very least.
yeah. Let's say, like, because he's never worked with it, 1d4 potions of water breathing.
Yeah.
This does mean that we have to create an adventure, or at least a part of a next dungeon that's underwater, and to take advantage of it.
Hmm.
So we gotta keep that in mind. All right, I'm just gonna highlight this just so we don't forget that it exists. So that's our what do they call it? Schrodinger's gun? No.
Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun. There we go. This is Chekhov's water breathing potions.
So there will be a section of swimming underwater.
or even just an optional area, like, oh, this part of the
Hmm.
dungeon's like completely clear, and this section of the dungeon's flooded underwater. If you go underwater, you can find some treasure or optional stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I
okay,
mean,
what?
depending on what we do for like the dragon section, plenty
Oh,
dragons reside in like caves or like coastlines or like icy glaciers where swimming
we've
is.
got an ice dragon. Yeah, yeah, that's right, a white
Well,
dragon.
we are currently planning a white dragon. We can get a bit creative when we get to that point, but yeah,
Make it a
plenty of dragon layers could have water easily.
easily, easily. Okay, okay, I like that. I like that. Um, what other activities? So the bear and a fish catching competition. Uh, go back to Slate Town. See if that can remind me of anything. Bloodstone Bazaar. Yep. Temporary stalls. Landmark. The Bloodstone. We have to make a table for what kind of vendors are available. I'm.
Maybe a cooking competition, right?
Oh, cooking competition. Cooking competition. Okay. And like the judge is Baron von. And what would the prize be?
I think this is one where a monetary prize is like 25 gold or something, maybe 50 gold.
Say 50 GP. The gold. Yeah, the judge is Baron von Cleef. Everyone just feeds him, and because he's such like he's basically Chuck Norris, he eats everything.
Yeah.
No matter how much it. Um, I will put a suggestion in that what would the insight check, I suppose.
Hmm.
Insight, let's say 10. Not too difficult. Baron von likes his protein.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty obvious, eh?
Yeah.
18. Baron von Cleef is sick of seafood.
So giving him something which is like a more of a mixture of foods than just like focused on seafood is an advantage.
Yeah, or even just something even if it is seafood and doesn't taste like it, he'll enjoy.
Yeah.
Uh, He'll still eat it. It'll also stop people from like using the prime cut of the sea serpent as a way to cheat, sort of. It's not even a cheat, it's just
Yeah.
not really worth trading that off for 50 gold coins, even if you do one so quit per se. Actually, no, they
No.
might do it for roleplay purposes. Like
I mean, yeah.
it's a cooking competition. We must get the best ingredient. The sea serpent. And of course, it just like yeah, you know what? Based on that, uh, roll disadvantage for using the sea serpent. It's like one of those things to troll the players with, but like it makes sense in context.
Yeah. Any other kind of things that could be fun? Like activities.
Oh,
Well, I mean, it's quite possible that might be like betting going on for some of
oh,
the events as well.
yeah, okay. I don't think we need to add that as its own separate thing. We'll just add
Nah,
it. There is gambling happening here. That would be the most obvious because I don't think anyone's going to be gambling over the bare-handed fishing thing. But
no.
I can see people gambling on the swimming competition easily.
Yeah, In terms of activities, the only other thing I can really think of is like maybe something involving performance.
Or like a singing contest? Or like,
Ma- I'm not too sure about singing, but maybe like dancing.
ooh, dancing competition at the end of the night.
Yeah.
And prize is, what would the prize be?
I mean,
Actually, actually
maybe
not.
it's just a little trophy.
Oh yeah, prize is a the shellfish trophy. Okay, I've just had an idea for another prize,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that they do every year, the King Tide Festival. So the King of the Tide's crown, King Tide crown. What kind of competition would involve that? Wait, I have an idea. Scavenge, scavenger hunt for the spear that killed sea serpent. So whoever finds the spear first wins.
That one might be a bit hard to arrange, but I suppose we could do that. Yeah.
Turns it on. Brown, crab, crab, and seashells together. Coral. Brown allows the user with peak aquan. How's that sound?
Okay. Sounds fun.
And I do want,
It's it's technically magical, but it doesn't do anything super crazy. Maybe it will have a use Chekhov's gun style later.
change the dance competition, like something like other than a shellfish trophy. I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Um, um, maybe another monetary prize.
Yeah.
Another 50 gold point coins, you think?
Another 50 gold coins might be fine. Um, unless we do something kind of fun
Oh, oh,
and
oh, oh.
delve. Let's see if I can't find what I'm looking for. Into the common magical items. The magical items that are like basically just they're magical, but they're
Oh, you mean like healing potions and stuff? Huh?
no. I'm talking about stuff like the cloak of billowing.
Oh, okay. So really minor stuff.
Yeah, because
Like
like
it's all flavor.
it's mostly just flavor. Yeah, but something like that.
Like, oh,
Uh,
I do want like another minor game or competition like the barehanded fish catching game.
hmm.
Like stuff that even kids could do, like that adults sometimes join.
Well, I mean, the fish catching does feel like that. The kids can try to catch fish with their hands.
Um, for another gambling one, and a bit lower on the lower end of like stakes,
Yep.
crab race.
Ooh, a crab race.
Players can provide and sponsor their own crabs or one silver. Otherwise, there is gam- gambling involved. Prize is life. Loser crabs are all eaten. So it's like a very low stakes sort of game. So the players have to actually find a crab, otherwise they can just bet on the existing crabs. And so we can say prize is also one, so they can like get into it that way. Crab race. I like that idea. And the players can have a mascot then.
Yeah.
So that those are, I think we have enough activities. Um, do we want anything to go wrong?
That is the big thing, right?
Yep.
Do we want something to kind of happen to spice up the festivities? I think something should happen, but whether it is like obvious that it did might not actually happen until the next night or until the next day.
I do like that. We want to introduce another bandit.
Um, well, I think having another one of the bandits be the one responsible makes sense. But the question is, what do we want to happen? Because I think like the festivities sounds like fun, and it's like, do we want to really break up the festivities with some sort of like bandit activities, or would it make more sense for the bandits to do something, well, in like one district while everyone else is over at the festivities?
I think like my first thought is the bandits steal Baron von Cleef's little skivvy ship, little boat, and then
Mm-hmm.
Baron von Cleef can't chase after them because he's got a major hangover because he partied the hardest.
Yeah.
And all the guards are like trying to get to their boats, but they're like too clogged up because of all the fisher boats and stuff like that. But then like we can say by chance the players like spot a lone raft on the side of a jetty that they can get to quickly.
Uh, hmm, maybe.
It is a bit loose, that one. Disney.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I'm looking at what we've done. Um, we have a scavenger hunt for the spear that killed the sea serpent, right?
Yeah.
That would technically be Baron von Cleef's actual spear,
Yeah.
and probably might actually be magical in some way, shape, or form.
In that case, instead of a spear, what about trident?
I mean, sure. But what if the big thing that happened is that the scavenger hunt, it's like you're meant to go to a particular location where you would eventually find the trident.
Yes.
The bandits got to it first and nicked off with them little with a fancy magical item.
Ooh, okay. In that case, hang on. Let me just take this scavenger hunt. B.
And that way we can make the reward for actually getting the trident back to actually be the, well, reward that you get for the scavenger hunt. So
Bandit. Hunt for scavenger hunt. Literal.
yeah.
Scavenger hunt quest.
Okay.
Alright, so just double check to see how we laid out Silver Toe's farm quest. Okay. It's pretty much what we've been doing with lots of deep decks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Alright, so how do we have it begin? Obviously, players sign off up for it and
Well,
whatnot.
either players sign up for it on the day, or they will find out in the morning with like maybe like a town crier or something.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I like. Okay, yeah. So there are two ways to start this quest. Players choose enter scavenger hunt. They then eventually run into. Okay, wait, no, that'll be the second wave because the first one like skips some steps.
Mm-hmm.
Run into bandits taking trident. Otherwise, if the players not enter scavenger hunt, they hear town. One cries. Town cries that the trident has been stolen. And then we go on to like different steps, like steps
Yep.
1, 2, 3, whatever. And then it'll be like go to step X,
Yep.
go to step 2.
Yeah. Nice and simple. So step two should be, I guess, some sort of clue, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, this is good because we can use. We have a couple of like locations in Slate Town that are places we could put a clue towards.
Oh, like we can make little riddles and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
maybe, so step 2, which would be step 1 in the scavenger hunt, sort of,
Yep.
is they party meets at a stall with bu- 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 serpent serpent's skull next to it as the host tells everyone rules, no hurting anyone else, whoever touches trident first, claim it, and have fun.
Cool. Nice and simple, nice and fun, and that might even be like a like if when the party initially sees the bandits taking the stuff, they might just give up and like, someone else beat us to it, only to find out in the morning anyway that
Oh,
someone stole it.
I think
So
it could be more to it than that. So like when they find it, so okay, so like players run into run oh onto the of the building and find someone already holding trident. They also see a costume sea serpent unconscious leading out behind said person.
oh, okay.
So like
Well,
so then they can figure out something is wrong. At first it's like, oh, we lost. But then it's like, wait, hang on. What happened here?
yeah, that's a kind of cool like okay, something's going on kind of moment.
Yeah, a little
That's pretty
twist.
cool.
Yeah, so that'll be like one of the final steps. So they would have gone up to the roof and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, this is where the trident must be. And it's like, oh, wait, hang on. That's
Yep.
not right. So I think
Yeah.
to figure out what the first clue is and what all the clues are leading up to this building, and we can figure out what the building is a bit
Yep.
later, we'll have to wait until next episode.
Well, that's a shame.
Yep, I'm a cliff-hanging bastard, aren't I?
Yes.
Oh, well. Tune in next time to see how we're going to get this trident, what the bandit's name is, and the details of this scavenger hunt quest next time on Recipe for Adventure. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Toodaloo!
Ciao.